Going on? Wait till everybody get on here. What's going on? Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Look, I'm about to go live on my... You know what? I'm not going to go live on here. I'm going to stay right here. I was going to go live on my YouTube. But I'm just going to stay right here and I'll just share it to the YouTube channel. I got some things that's on my mind. I want to talk to you guys about it. So much going on, man. And we need to have the talk. And it's the reason why it's important is because I'm more concerned about our people, right? And making sure we have the proper clarity. You know, all this stuff that's going on with, you know, Kyrie and you know, Ye, and it's just our people right now, man. And everything is timing, you know. I love the scripture talks about the sons of Issachar knew the time and the seasons of things. And there's some things that are going on that I'm well equipped to address. And I need to address it to us so that we clear, you know, about our focus, about how we handle ourselves with this situation with quote unquote Jewish people and all this stuff that's going on. You know, we see in a lot of our people having to apologize for things and you know, I can address it. And so I'm gonna address it to us. You feel me? First of all, let's be real clear that we don't support anybody that have been victimized in any way, in any parts of the world. Black people understand what it is to be victimized. You know, we understand perfectly well. So we as a people, we don't support no one having been victimized. And we don't support what happened in the Holocaust to the Jews. You know, it was a travesty. It was wrong, right? But the point I do want to make is that didn't happen in this country. You know, that happened in Germany. Even though it's wrong and anybody that's experiencing, you know, any type of abuse where they're murdering innocent people for nothing, it is wrong and it is evil. But let me express this to you. Our people need to understand that didn't happen over here, right? Our condition happened over here, right? And so yes, I know that there is this sensitivity for what happened in Germany to Jewish people. We understand that. But we want you to understand that our first responsibility is to black people in this country, because the original stain of sin in this country is chattel slavery. That happened right here. So although we hate what happened to you in Germany, we hate what's happening to anybody in all parts of the world, any travesty that's going on, we hate it. But we're focused right now on what's happened in this country to our people, right? That's our first priority right now. Let's just get some things clear, right? So when we're talking about justice, and when we're in those streets talking about justice, you know, and we're fighting against systems, we're fighting because of the things that happen to us black people in this country. I don't want to belabor the point, but I want you to understand that happened in this country, no other country. It happened in this country to us. Understand what we're saying. And so we're not addressing you Jewish people about what happened to us in this country. You understand? And the reason why we're not addressing you, because your first priority is what happened to you in Germany. So why would we address you about what's happening to us in this country when your first priority is what happened to you in Germany? And Germany has paid restitution to what's happened. They have monuments and museums and things of that nature, right? Because of what they did to you in Germany. We're addressing what happened to us right here in America. So our plight, right, to get that justice, we're not going to speak to you about that justice, because the first thing you're going to be concerned about, and you should be concerned about, is what happened to you in another country, right? You are here, right? They went and fought to be able to liberate you. We fought in that war, right? You were liberated. You were able to come here. I believe they still give Israel billions of dollars a year in support. I think all that is necessary, and I think that is all great. But let me be real specific to you and make you understand what our plight is, right? The same plight you had with what happened to you in Germany, right? And some of the perpetrators of what happened to you in Germany have been tracked down, right, and put in prisons for many years. And you should have done that. You should have tracked down every demonic, evil person that participated in what they did to your people in Germany. And there was a justice that needed to be done. And you made sure that you did that. And that was your right. And you got the support of the world for that plight. Well, what we're saying is that we have a plight also, right? And yes, like I said to you a minute ago, you deserve to do everything that you did, and any amount of justice that you can get, you were supposed to get that. And we're happy for you that you did. But see, we have a different plight of something that has happened in this country that you have been brought to, that you have prospered in, right? That you have gained great positions in, and that is great. We're not hating you for that. Unlike Ye, I'm not jealous of you, but I understand why one or many other people could be jealous, right? Why would I be jealous of you that you went and did whatever that was necessary for you to do to get in the position that you are in? That's a wonderful thing. But understand, again, those things happen to you in another country. So we feel like the first priority of this country should be its original sin, the stain that's on this country. So black people, as a right, feel that their priority first should be us, not nobody else first, right? Yet our people see America helping everybody all over this world, yet have not addressed the original sin. So that is our problem. Right? That is what we struggle with. Since it seems to be a big deal for us to get educated about what happened to you, let us educate you about how we feel what has happened to us in this country, right? The same way you want Kyrie to go to the museum, right? The Jewish museum, and talk to rabbis and stuff. I think that it is equally important that you talk to some of our leaders, right? So that our leaders can express to you the plight that we have here and why we feel like we shouldn't be second to anybody when it comes to justice, when it comes to reparations, when it comes to what Germany have done with you, right? We feel like we are priority. We haven't been. That doesn't make us feel that we shouldn't be priority, right? And those things really haven't been addressed, right? There have never been. Somebody could say that they're sorry, but there's been a trespass. You know, trespass, when you're trespassing, I know you know this, trespassing means against an individual. It's not like a regular sin. A trespass is when you have done something, a sin against individuals or an individual. So there's a trespass that has transpired to us, right? And we continue to struggle, right, for us getting a certain amount of justice that we feel we deserve. And retribution that we feel we deserve, right? As you felt you deserve in Germany, Okay. So I just wanted to make you understand that we're not going to put anybody's plight above our own, even though we agree with anyone's plight to get justice. But we feel like our plight has to be most important to us, not that anybody else's is not. And as we feel your plight should be more important to you. So, for instance, let me say this. So say that you as a people ran 80% of this government, right? And we would come to you and say, this is what's going on. This is what happened. We would feel, rightfully so, that our need would not be addressed before your own need because you have also gone through things, but those things were in a different country, right? So we would feel like it would be futile for us to address you when we already know you've had a Holocaust and you're more concerned about the needs of your own people first. And we believe that that's what should happen. You should be concerned about the needs, the conditions, and the justice of your own people. Right? So we're just trying to explain to you so that we can have an understanding, because I don't think enough conversation has gone forward for you to understand how we feel in this country, how we feel a certain ownership to this country because of the work that our ancestors have put in to build this country with free labor, right? The atrocities that were done to our people in this country. You understand? So again, we don't think that you nor any other people are supposed to, getting a certain amount of respect, a certain amount of justice before us in this country. Right. So we could talk about the natives and stuff, about what has happened to them. I know the government has tried to, do something. Right. They've tried to give them land. Doesn't matter how bad the land is. They have. Because I've heard some natives that I've worked with talk about that the land is not all that great or whatever. But nevertheless, they've given them land. They also have given them an opportunity to develop a certain amount of wealth with a lot of the casinos that a lot of these tribes have, right? But yet and still, us as African Americans who have built this country, who through our labor enriched this country, right, yet feel mistreated because you have not identified your original sin, neither have you done anything for our people. Right. And it's not like we're begging, would you please? No, we feel we have a right to that. Right. We feel we have a right to certain justices. We feel we have a right to certain reparations because of the story. Right. Because of the work that our ancestors put in. Right. So there's a right. And the only reason I'm having this conversation, because I don't think enough of this conversation has been had, with your culture. Right. So I just thought it was important that I would share from perspective of how a lot of us feel like we should be first, right? We should be first. If anybody's going to do anything for anybody, I know that we're given hundreds of millions of dollars, and we are, again, with the plight of, what's going over in the war today. What Russia is fighting against Ukraine. And we are with the plight of the Ukrainian people. We've seen the devastation. We've seen the killings, mass destructions, and that is wrong. And we are with them as well. It's easy for us to be with the plight of other people when we understand that better than most people. So it's easier for us to say, we are with these people because we know what it feels like to be devastated, right? To be destroyed, to be killed, So we know that feeling, right? But yet and still, this country gives hundreds of millions of dollars, and we're sitting here saying, well, wait a minute. Not only did we contribute by building this nation, right? Not only did you use free labor from our people for hundreds of years, not only did you rape us, not only did you kill us, not only did you give our babies to alligators and the worst atrocities known to mankind through chattel slavery, right in our faces, you go and support other people outside of this country that are having issues outside of this country. You understand? Yet you have who gives a care about, it's like you understand enough justice for somebody else's plight, but you refuse to recognize the plight of your original sin, the people that are fighting for justice for the original sin of this country, right? But it's like we see you doing for everybody else. And it's not that we don't think you should, America. Because again, we support everybody's plight because we know what it is firsthand. But the fact that America has not dealt, right, and have really in our faces felt the worth of people outside of this country, whether more than, the people that have built this country. And that's problematic to us. And we feel that that is wrong. As wrong as what's going on in Ukraine. As wrong as what went on with Germany, with you guys. We feel that same amount of wrongness about us, right? Because there's been no attempt from this country to do anything about the original sin, right? So now, when you have empowered yourself in our country, right? Your country now, when you have elevated your community, and then when one of ours do something to offend you, right? You immediately, come together, right? Utilize your power, and you tell one of our people that you have to go through these processes and these steps for you, African American, to be accepted back in whatever job you have. You know what I'm saying? So what that does is it really, really rubs us the wrong way. It's not about you, right? Because we're dealing with something outside of you, right? But because you feel a sense of outrage for a statement or something that was made that you might call anti-Semitic, and you're telling one of our people that they have to go through these steps in order for them to be accepted back in their job or whatever mistake that they've made, right? They offended you and what have you. Then you have to understand we're looking at the situation a little bit differently, because we're saying we're dealing with something that you have had dealt with, that we're still dealing with, right? That happened in this country, not in Germany. Right. But you have come to this country. Right. A lot of your ancestors have come to this country, and you have built yourself up. And now, outside of what white folks are doing, it's like now you're taking the place or like piggybacking on what we're already dealing with. Now you're telling us that, OK, you're going to do this, this, and this. Right. And we're already saying, well, wait a minute, man. Hold on, man. Hold on. We already got enough dealing with white Americans here, right? Now you've come here because a lot of our people fought in the war and died for you, right? And was able to free you up. White people didn't just do it. We had a lot of our people doing it too, right? And now you have positioned yourself like, big you and little us, right? You're not looking at any plight that we're going through, because that's really not your primary concern, right? Your primary concern is the plight of what your people have gone through, not what we have gone through. But that's our concern. But yet you come up out of that plight, right? And now you have amassed a certain amount of power in this country that we have built, right? It's just like all these nationalities, different races of people that are welcome to America because of the fights that we fought, that we died for. Right. And when they come to this country, they have the audacity to look their noses down on our people, not understanding that the reason why they are welcomed here, the reason why they have the rights that they have, is because my people died. My people fought. My people created an environment for you to be here to enjoy the opportunity for the American dream. Right. So we feel a certain kind of way when you come here and you look your nose down upon us because you don't know the history. When you come here, you should salute us for the work that we have done in order for you to be here. So that's what we feel about a lot of all these races that come here and have the audacity to look at us some kind of way. Right. So let me get back to the Kyrie thing and all this stuff. Right. So now you're telling Kyrie he has to have these 5 steps or 6 or 7 steps in order for him to be accepted back on his job. And this is not just about Kyrie. I'm just trying to give you an understanding and try to give you a bigger picture, right? Because what I don't want to do is what I see happening is piss us off, and that's not a threat or anything. I'm just saying because we have been the brunt of the worst shit in the world. You should know that, right? That we are in a different age now, and really, we haven't really found our perfect settings. But there are situations that arise like this publicly that have the capacity to bring us together and make us fight. It's normally through pain, right? It's normally through painful situations that allow us to get together and make us feel a certain kind of way, right? To make us want to stand together and fight. Right. So the situation that's going on, you are only recognizing your pain. But I needed to give you a backstory so that you can understand our pain. Right. Because, again, you've only been concerned about your pain because you first. Right. Like we feel that we should be first in this country because what has happened to us has happened in this country. Right. So there's a pain associated with that I don't think that maybe you don't care about. Maybe you feel like who cares, white folks that did all this stuff to these people and they still in this condition and white America have not done anything about this original sin. Yet you see them doing all this stuff for everybody else and all over the world, even giving Israel billions of dollars a year, but have not done anything for African Americans. Right. And so maybe you feel, why should I be concerned? No, this country, this government is not concerned. They haven't done what Germany has done. Right. But I'm saying that's a mistake for you, right? That's a mistake for you not to be concerned. It's a mistake for you to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to make us understand because you think that you have a certain amount of power, that your plight, right? And that you as a culture and as a people far outweigh our concern and our plight as a people. And that might not be how you are trying to present it, but when you're dealing with the hurt, broken people, right, that have been abused for hundreds of years, that's what you're going to ultimately start getting, right? And so when you're dealing with the people, I remember having conversations like this when I was fighting for police accountability in Washington State. And today, through my little company, through my little organization, not this time, we was able to bring forth police accountability in this country. As a matter of fact, Washington State is the only state with a police accountability law because of not only my organization, even though it started with my organization, we involve like all 21 different organizations from all communities to come together and to be able to really submit that whole state, where we had the governor on down that submitted to the initiative that we passed. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I've had some of these conversations with law enforcement, right? Because I thought that they needed to understand, right? They needed to understand how we felt, right? And so there were strategies that I brought forth, right? That I talked to our people about and other races of people about, that they agreed upon, and we came together. And today, like I said, we passed a law in Washington State, and we lead this country in police accountability today. So I thought, since I was able to do that, right, really the impossible, because of my own checkered past over 20 years ago, because I was able to strategize and bring everybody together, from police to the Native community, to the Black community, to the Asian Pacific Islander community, to the Latino community, to the Samoan community, all communities. I was able to bring all those communities together. And I thought that I would be the perfect person to have this conversation with your community so that you can understand how we're feeling and how at this time, because, you could get pushed and treated like you're nothing, or treated like, because we feel that we're powerful, we can say what we want, and we can make you feel like your plight is first, and all those things, right? That it has the capacity for some combustible actions. It has the capacity to explode things to a level that is not healthy for anyone in this country, right? The kind of thing that can happen, and well, since I'm not comfortable, nobody's going to be comfortable, right? that type of spirit. It has that capacity, that feeling, especially with this generation, right? The youth in this generation, the people in this just black people in this generation, it's just a little different, right? And it's only different because of the shoulders and the backs that we stand on upon many of our ancestors that have given their life for the plight for us to be in the position today, for us to even have this conversation, for you to even listen to us have this conversation, right? So again, I do not want to belabor the point, but I do want to make you understand that it's unhealthy for you just to see your side of the picture. That's a very, very unhealthy thing, right? Because we could take that very, very offensively, even though you might not mean it that way, even though, your way that you operate is because the protection of your own people, right? I get that, right? But I'm saying if you go into in that situation, hypersensitized, and not understand that same pain that you are operating the way you're operating, trying to kind of like submit our people, because that's what we're getting from this, right? That's what we're feeling. You want to submit us. You want to tell us, we can't be a part of this, that, and the other because you happen to have some control and some influence in these particular areas, right? We thank God that God has allowed America to be as great as it is for you to be able to come here to America whenever your ancestors came here, right? To be a part of this wonderful experience of America. And we think it's a great thing. We love that all races of people have been able to come here and make that a reality. I think that it was very strategic and very smart for your people to mingle with white people, to marry and to produce children, because those children were going to be undetected, that no one's going to know that they were Jewish. I knew you had a problem because people were racist against your people. If they identified you as a Jewish person, there were certain things that, they wanted to keep from you. There were certain things they were racist against you, But I thought it was smart to be able to mingle in with white America, and, because you happen to share basically the same skin tone, right? The mingling was brilliant, right? Because now you can't even detect who's Jew, who's not Jew, right? You could be talking to somebody you just think is a regular white American. He could have blonde hair, but he could be a Jew, right? He could be Jewish, right? So I thought whoever came up with that strategy was phenomenal, I thought it was great. If we had the ability to do so, I would have thought we would be able to do that. There was something that we used to call passing, passe blanc. Maybe you don't understand that, but let me educate you a little bit. There was a time that our people, when, some of the slaves, masters would, rape, their enslaved people, women, they would bear certain children, right? And some of those children would practically look white just through race mating, right? And so there was something developed called passing, right? Because white people could not identify that was a black person because they didn't have black skin. So black people would know, though. Black people would know, oh, she's passe blanc, right? She's passing for white. What that means, passing for white, passe blanc. So, if we had the opportunity to mix in and stuff, maybe we would have did it. I don't know. But I thought it was a great strategy, whoever thought of that, right? And now, look at your culture, look at your race, look at what you guys are doing. You guys have done a great thing. But don't lord yourself over my people, right? Don't be so confident in whatever positions and power that you have that you feel you can be the second slave master to us. Don't do that. That might not be your intention. I'm telling you how we could take that. And I'm trying to give you, backstories to try to give you an understanding of how that could be taken, right? There's so much that has been said about us and consequences like maybe Kanye have had where you actually have a bank that told him that he couldn't bank with them anymore, and all the things that have happened with Ye. It's not about him to me. I would never throw him away. I would never, I will allow him a million mistakes, and allow him to, because I've made a million in my life. Who am I to look at a brother, and not allow them some mistakes, or sister and not allow them some mistakes when I have had a million of them myself and had to recover, So, but I don't want you to feel so empowered, right, that you start picking all of our people that you think they've said something anti-Semitic to you, and you begin to attack them, right? I want you to really think about that, The scripture says that power is on the side of the oppressor. We understand that. But I really believe this is a time for my people. I really believe that. I believe that because God brought me from the gutter. God brought me from nothing and allowed me to pretty much conquer a whole state, where the New Yorker interviewed me, Seattle Times. I've been on Fox News with Hannity. I wasn't on there because it was my religious beliefs, but I'm a Republican or Democrat. No, I was on there for the work that I was able to do in Seattle, Washington, right? And through that, the president called me. I was able to talk to President Trump, and I thought that was great for them to recognize the work and one of my clients that I had on the show, right? Offer his condolences to one of the clients I had on the show that lost his special needs son through some of the violence that was in an area called Chop in Seattle. I was also hired as the first official street czar in the whole nation. There is no other official street czar but myself, right? And with that credibility, I felt like we could have this conversation, and I would like to further this conversation. But I just don't want it to appear like you're trying to be the second slave master of our people, because it's not going to be nice for anyone, right? So think about that. Let's have this conversation, because I think some of that is appearing, that's appearing to be how a lot of us are starting to feel. And I could see it coming out through the crevices, just like I did with police accountability in Seattle. I was seeing, and I addressed a lot of those things and tried to tell people, there's a different way we can handle these things, but don't be a bully. Don't think because you got some power and all that stuff that, you're going to be a slave master and you're going to break us and you're going to submit us and all. We've been broken and we've been submitted, and you don't want to deal with the people that feel they have nothing to lose, right? Like they feel like they're going through a whole nother slavery. I just think that it's not going to be nice. You don't want to make us feel like that, like you're going to put us through a new slavery publicly like that, like almost a public lynching. We're going to show these black people, what you can and cannot do. I just don't think that it's wise, right? I just feeling like you need to really reconsider some of those things. I wanted to get on here because that was kind of on me all day long. That I was feeling something all day long about this. And I just felt like I better address these situations. I need to talk about it. Right. So I hope that, some of you, my people, will share this so that it will get out, where a lot of people can see it, and let's just have a productive conversation. And before I go, one of the ways that I was able to win with police accountability, even though it's never been done before, but the way that I was able to do that is there was something that I said that resonated with most people, in that state. I would say this. I said that I don't believe that I have to agree with somebody 100% of the time in order to build with them, right? I don't believe that I have to agree with somebody 100% of the time in order to build with them, right? And that left me a lot of leverage to build with a lot of people. And that's probably one of the reasons why we were able to have conversations with people that we don't agree with. I brought law enforcement, and I had community meetings with law enforcement and some of the most powerful people in Washington, and brought them down and to my to the meetings that I used, community meetings that I would give every Wednesday, and all those powerful people came, and what I would do when I would give these meetings, I would explain to the community. I would say, listen, these are professionals that are in this meeting, and they could take the tough questions, but don't disrespect any of my guests. And if you disrespect any of my guests, we're going to escort you out of here, right? And so that created a safe place to come and really have the conversation. I think whatever conversation that needs to be had needs to be public, right? Needs to be public. I just think that things are getting going wrong extremely fast, and there's something that should be done about it. And I'm nobody. I'm just a person that has actually created history in this country by doing real work, right? And I think that there needs to be a conversation that is had, right? My name is Andre Taylor. Many people know me from my street name, Gorgeous Dre, right? Because I keep my connection to my people all over, from the streets into politics, and I reach high and low. So, I'm here to talk if you want to have this conversation. All right. Peace.